the setup was basically we're having reports that your cutting in the back room is hampering the front line. What would you say to that? Nikki Noboats comes in with the answer to that conversation.
Well, look, real sympathy for the story that Mr. Boddington has told. And as he's pointed out himself, this is a challenge that his hospital has been facing for 2.5 years. And so we have had a period in New Zealand in which the health system has, in many parts of the country, struggled to recruit the doctors and the frontline clinicians that we need. In the year to June, we've hired more than 4,000 additional clinicians across New Zealand, but there are still shortages. So we are taking action.
I wonder how many of those clinicians were helping make up the ones to say what the Dunedin hospital needs that they then ignored. Just wondering, just putting it out there.
That we're designing a new fast track so that doctors coming with relevant qualifications from overseas can quickly be onboarded. That process can take up to 6 months at the moment. We need to do it faster to take pressure off those people on the front line. We have invested considerable billions in the health system, and I've committed that in our next budget, more than half of the new funding will be for health, because it is critical that we keep putting that money into the front line. There's nothing more important than hiring the doctors, the specialists, and the nurses who deliver care.
The thing is, though, is that many health professionals that we've spoken to have talked about the changes that are being made and the budget cuts, right? And so taking services from the back office, they're actually having an impact on the front line.
Oh my God, Chewy, we never thought of that. That like removing like admin people and all those people that took some of the workload away from the front line might impact the front line. Why didn't anyone think of this, Chewy? I don't understand.
Literally no one. I think in Nikki Noboats' favour, I don't think anybody could have predicted this, man. Like it's just so out of left field that this has happened.
But you hear it now and you go, oh, it's so obvious. Why didn't someone pick up on it? Someone should have seen this coming. Someone.
We need somebody else.
Someone should have seen it coming.
So, you know, yes, it's all good to take the money away and say that you're focusing on the front line, but actually the front line is the one that is also being impacted here, who are suffering. And you have doctors like Dr. Boddington who say, you know what, I've had enough, can't cope. And again, who's the one that loses out? It is the New Zealand public, Minister.
Well, look, I'd just say, Jenny May, I don't like seeing anyone burn out, but he pointed out himself, this is a 2.5 year issue he's faced.
Yep, got to make sure you get a blame Labor in there. Got to make sure these guys were going to fix all the problems. Got to make sure you can blame Labor.
Like seeing anyone burn out, but he pointed out himself, this is a 2.5 year issue he's faced. We're a government that's been in for 10 months. We have actually increased funding for health considerably by an additional $1.4 billion in the budget. And as I say, we've committed more funding in all of our future budgets. So this isn't about reducing funding for health. It's about making sure that we can hire those doctors who have been in shortage.
What about those nurses who were offered jobs and then that offer was recanted? Is that the right word? Taken away. So I don't quite understand, because if there's all this money, in fact, so much more, why are some nurses and graduates having their job offers withdrawn? Again, something doesn't quite make sense there, Cherry. I'm not entirely sure what it is. We'll get to the end of this 30-second mystery.
And as I say, we've succeeded in hiring an additional 4,000 in the year to June. Of course, there's more work to do. And that's why we've appointed a Commissioner to Health New Zealand. It was clear to us on coming into office that the reforms that the last government started had not bedded in well, had not resulted in positive changes for those on the front line, had added in many people's minds.
Hadn't resulted well for those on the front line. So what we thought we'd do is take away their admin support and the people in the back room helping them, because that, like, it didn't work well under Labor. There's systemic issues there. And what we thought we'd do is we'd remove all the support for the front line, and we thought that will make the difference. It's a flawless plan.
Layers of bureaucracy that we're actually getting in the way. We're working as hard as we can to fix that with more of a regional model. I know that Dr. Reti, our health minister, is really keen to see clinicians getting more of a voice in the system. We are making changes. We have to, but this isn't something we can do overnight.
There you go, Chewy. Have a crack. I'm going to show you the story they're talking about as well with Dr. Boddington. Go for it, sir.
I am just... I'm just trying to find something.
Why are you doing that? What do you find?
I just want to comment on Kieran's, I guess, facial expression.
Here we go. That one.
Yeah. Where are we?
That looks like American Gothic. All they need is a little church in the background and one of them to be holding a pitchfork, and that's American Gothic, isn't it?
I mean, this is spooky.
Yep.
Is it just that? It's
somewhat border collie?
It just the 1,000-yard stare of a cupcake tormented PTSD dog is Kieran McAnulty just waiting to drop the hammer. But he's being a very good boy and he's not interrupting because he knows that if he waits, good things come to people that wait. Let's see him drop the hammer.
The story they were talking about, Tauranga cardiologist Dr. Dean Boddington says health system relies on doctors overworking. Health New Zealand Commissioner Lester Levy is, quote, living in la la land, end quote. And Te Whatu Ora has no idea what is happening on the ground, a burned out cardiologist says. Dr. Dean Boddington wrote to Te Whatu Ora about his concerns a year ago, but said nothing had changed. Boddington finishes at Tauranga Hospital on Friday, citing burnout.
Absolutely right. And it's right throughout the front line of health. It's the nurses. The nurses can't take leave, but are at the same time told to take leave because their leave balances are too high. They don't have enough staff to do both of those things. Like that. If this was a business, you're making profit out of just grinding people into paste.
Yeah,
it's unconscionable, and these are people that have to deal with people at their lowest. They are people that deal with life or death situations on the daily, and we can't provide enough support for them, enough backup, enough time for them to have a holiday or work a normal person shift.
Yeah,
like talk to a newish doctor, like a junior doctor, and ask them what their week looks like. It is terrifying. The state that we put doctors in, and expect them to make 100% correct decisions at all times, dealing with life or death. It's terrifying.